Good afternoon, families. It is Thursday, September 29th, and this is our Turtle Talk vlog for the week. So, we have a couple of important things coming up. So, first, top two are conference sign up is going to go live this afternoon. So, please check your emails for the conference link on Sign Up Genius. Conference slots are about 20 minutes. Please find a time that works for you. As it says there, if you don't see one that works for you or your schedule, because things can be very hectic, please email me right away. I am more than flexible of meeting a little bit before school or after school, depending on the day and what works for you. What's most important is that we just get a chance to sit down and talk about your student and all the amazing things that are going on here at school and that you see at home. Number two, there will be a pre-conference form in your folder today for Thursday that just has a couple of questions to get you thinking about things that we'd like to talk about during our conference time. That gives me a heads up on things that you may notice at home that I may notice here at school, or things that I don't. And that can be anything from questions around bedtime and routines to handwriting and holding pencils and all of those different things that you may have, or even more than that, or something different. I just want to make sure that during our time together, I am able to respond and answer the questions and support needs that you have about your student. It's important that we are working together. I can't do that if I don't know what it is you'd like us to sit down and talk about outside of the things I do. All right, so let's dive in. So this week we got our Thursday folder. So I got my extra folder that I have. So lunch menu for October, it got here. So I printed it. It's coming home today. Fantastic. We have a monthly family play date from our amazing room parents. So this will come home. It's got some things on there, and it's even got an email if you haven't contacted anyone about having an email address on some of that communication. So thanks to our amazing room parents for that. And here's that pre-conference form as well. It's a little bit of space. There's more room on the back. Feel free to add whatever it is you'd like me to know based on the questions I have, or other things as well. Other important things that we got going on. For phonics and writing, we've been practicing our pencil grip, which is pointer finger, thumb, middle finger underneath, and holding your pencil appropriately. If you'd like some tips and tricks on how to make this kind of grip happen for no money involved, because I'm a big fan of finding ways you already have around the house to do it, let me know. I can bring it up at conferences for any and all. We're writing our lowercase letters, and we're starting by practicing our letter strokes, which is just top to bottom, middle to bottom, and clean and neat circles. And for my three friends who are left-handed, some of our materials we're making circles in a different direction. And if for my left-handed friends, we can talk about that at conferences as well, because I have some specific tips and tricks for those friends who are left-handed. In reading, we've been practicing using our very first book that we wrote and our book bins to read independently, which is finding a spot in the room where you are comfortable reading on your own. And reading for us right now looks very different for all students, but mostly it's retelling a story by looking at the pictures and understanding what exactly happened in the story. And sometimes that looks like just telling a story based on the pictures you see. It might be what the story is. Sometimes it's an invented story. Either is fine. Reading is reading. I'm going to encourage you to get in the headspace of even a graphic novel and a comic book is reading. I know that's not the most popular opinion, but reading is reading. I want kids to read for life, and if they like to read, they will go and read. Good things. So in our classroom, we're doing a lot of that, just practicing finding a spot, getting comfy, and reading and telling a story and looking for letters and words that we may know. And on that, we learned a new game today. It's called BAM. In this game, we have some words that are high-frequency words, like I and it. And every once in a while, we get a BAM, and then we try to count how many words we read correctly before we get to a BAM. It's a game that we learned today, and we'll play whole group because it's kind of fun and silly, a fun way to kind of go through words that you see a lot of, and sometimes those are the words that don't follow the rules of the English language, because boy, are there a ton of them. And other times we'll play it in small group as the year goes on. It's just a fun way to practice sight words. In math, we are working with objects to tell a story, counting how many more, how many less, how many there are, how many are left. So there are some bears in a cup. One bear leaves the cup, which is really a cave because it's a bear, of course. And then how many bears are left if you had 5 to begin with? So it's just basic story problems, but using little manipulatives and telling stories and practicing touching, counting up, counting on, counting down. Which is pretty awesome. And we had a pretty good time doing it yesterday, and we're going to be doing it again today after our quiet time in a little bit. Other important news of our classroom, in our book Toys Go Out, which of course is right there behind me, we found out today that Lumpy wanted to go up on the high bed with the little girl at night because he thought it was pretty special. So with a little help from his friend Stingray, he got to go up on the high bed, but didn't realize that it was boring. Everybody went to sleep at nighttime on the bed, so he started jumping down, to which the little girl tied his tail with a ribbon to the bed, and when he got upset, he jumped and ended up ripping his tail off, and now he is a tailless buffalo. We'll see what happens next, but other than that, that's been our pretty good story. I'll leave you with 2 other things. Number 1, we have 3 caterpillars in chrysalis at this time. We have 8 more that will be going into chrysalis. So that means probably by maybe middle to end of next week, we may have our very first monarch caterpillar butterfly to release out into the wild. Very exciting. And last but not least, click the link and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with all of our wonderful videos and the things that we post and information that comes out. Sometimes you might even get early access before I send an email. Shocking. Otherwise, have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the fall. October is just around the corner, as is lots of runny noses and warmer clothes and coats. Practice things like zippers, buttons, not losing your hats and gloves, and I will help that here too. Have a wonderful weekend, and see you next fall in October. That's like next week. Bye.